In this video, I couldn't make up my mind what I wanted to do. But I did know one thing for sure. It was, sorry Bob, or thank you, it was round 3 for the JPAC. What is a JPAC? Brief mention, it's an art collection created by YouTuber Jazza. Why another video, you ask? Well, if you remember my last 2 videos, the JPAC, they went well, but I know I can do better. Let's take it a step further though, and incorporate watercolor. Yes, I said watercolor, and considering that this was the last one I did, scary, right? Let's get to it. I have been on a Sonic kick recently, so I decided to take a break and go with another childhood nostalgia kick and go with Digimon. Yes, I said Digimon. Let's get it. I haven't done a Digimon art piece since my 62nd bit last year, but was it really an art piece? It was a scribble at best of Agumon and he needs a redemption, but not this video. It's Gomamon that's the star of this one. Why, you ask? Because I wanted to do a watercolor painting, but still use everything in the JPAC, the marker, the ink, the pencils, and tongue-in-cheek because, you know, he's a sea Digimon and it's a watercolor painting. At the time of this recording, it's been 3 months since my last watercolor painting, and I knew I was going to be a bit rusty, so I used mostly blues, and I didn't want to add gray by mixing black and white together and make it murky, but hey, it doesn't look that bad. But time for the drawing. We went back to another sheet from the JPAC because it handled the medium the best, and from there it was pretty straightforward. With the basic sketch done, we had to compare the drawing to the background that we already had, and from a frame of reference, I realized that I had to alter the sizing of Gomamon. That is why, to me, it is so important to take a step back and reset my eyes, because in doing so, made me see that Gomamon's body wasn't necessarily proportionate to his head, so there was a few workarounds that we can get to make this look just right. So, I extended his face out and then narrowed his neck and body, and after doing so, I was pretty satisfied with what I ended up with. I mean, honestly, look at it. It looks pretty good, right? But now for the dreaded task. The bane of my existence. Inking. It wasn't that painful this time around. I decided to use 0.1 for the beginning and the more detailed areas such as the eyes, move up to 0.3 for the body, and then lastly have the brush liner to make the drawing pop. But as well as having a thicker outline for, well, you'll see why later on in the video. Bringing out our test book, welcome back. For the colors we need to see what will best suit our dear water monster. And honestly, these colors worked out very nicely. The greens for the eyes, and the light purple for a foundation for the eyebrows, and the marking on his cheeks, and later on his ears and spots, the blue and gray for the shadows, and last but not least, the red and orange for his mane, and it truly pulled it all together. But can we just admire the blending on this piece? I just went for it and I'm glad I did because I think it made Gomamon not just a cel animated character, but actually brought him to life, if you will. Alright, with the base down, I went ahead with the colored pencils to bring out just a little bit more of this piece, and voila! Not too bad if I do say so myself. But let's not talk about me. Let's talk about how we're going to make history today with cutting it out. No, seriously, we need to cut Gomamon to put these two art pieces together, and let's just say I need 2 things. A sharper X-Acto knife and a cutting board. Because after painstakingly cutting this for 20 minutes later, well, we did it. So here comes the finale. And for those that are still here, 2 things. 1, thank you. The code word is post office for the comments. And 2, this proved to be the most laborious part of this entire video. What I thought was going to be a simple application of a hot glue gun and paper turned out to be the most heart-wrenching part of the entire thing. Because the glue dried up way too fast. When I pressed down to seal the deal, it didn't stick at all. After this fruitless endeavor, I went searching for alternatives and I had double-sided tape, but in order for it to stick, I had to carefully, and I say carefully because this is about 3 hours of work, and it would literally have been torn to shreds if I messed up removing the glue for it. Luckily, the paper was thicker and it only took off the top layer. Or I guess you can say the bottom layer, it just depends on how you're looking at it. Now that we got up and limping again, we put the double-sided tape only for me to run out. I had to, last resort, use Scotch tape, but it got the job done. And now, the only thing left, and it's done, look at it. I think this came out pretty well. Look at the background, Gomamon. They came out together pretty nicely, especially for my first multimedia mixed media, because it has markers, color pencils, ink, watercolor, How many different mediums is that? Watercolor, color pencil, marker, ink, graphite, I guess. There's like 5 different medias in here. I am disappointed that the super glue dried super quick and it kind of messed with the back. Yeah, it could be better, and my X-Acto knife is really dull. You saw that. You saw how painful that was. But until next time, peace, love, and hot sauce, and as always, thanks for watching.